Let us read the para, okay, and we'll come back.
Will I read?
Yes, please do that.
But there comes also, you can hear me, no?
Yes, yes, very clearly.
Okay. But there comes also a stage in which the mind recoils from the whole problem and, dissatisfied with the solutions given by the threefold mode of nature, Traigunya, seeks for some higher solution outside of it or else above it. It looks for an escape either into something which is outside and void of all qualities and therefore of all activity, or in something which is superior to the three qualities and master of them and therefore at once capable of action and unaffected, undominated by its own action in the Nirguna or the Trigunatita. It aspires to an absolute peace. It aspires to an absolute peace and unconditioned existence or to a dominant calm and superior existence. The natural movement of the former attitude is towards the renunciation of the world, sannyasa, of the latter towards superiority to the claims of the lower nature and its whirl of actions and reactions, and its principle is equality and the inner renunciation of passion and desire. The former is the first impulse of Arjuna, recoiling from the calamitous culmination of all his heroic activity in the great cataclysm of battle and massacre, Kurukshetra, losing his whole past principle of action, inaction, and the rejection of life and its claims seem to him the only issue. But it is to an inner superiority and not to the physical renunciation of life and action that he is called by the voice of the divine teacher.
Okay, beautiful para, and we'll identify the words because that's exactly what we have to do. Now, the situation is that Arjuna is a warrior. He is not a thinker, he is a warrior and he is a Kshatriya. It is his duty to fight and govern and protect the weak. That's the the dharma of the Kshatriya. But now he sees my all this dharma that I had accepted and the rule of life for me was perfectly okay for me until now. But suddenly what has happened? Now I am seeing that my dharma is not valid anymore for me. Because how can I kill my own people? That is not acceptable to me at all. Because he is subject to the gunas, he is subject to body, mind, life. He is a normal man, he is not above the normal consciousness. So this is the problem. So now you must find a solution. So how is the solution? While you are in the physical world and you are identified with your body, mind, life, there is no solution. Because this is the problem for all dualities. Na? Wherever you are here, okay, there is no solution at all while you are in the physical world. You have to go above to get the solution. So there comes also a stage in which the mind recoils from the whole problem. I reject the whole thing and dissatisfied with the solutions given by the threefold mode of nature, Traigunya. That means you are identified with your body, mind, life. Because gunas are sattva, rajas, tamas, and if you are dissatisfied with the sattva, rajas, tamas, you have to find a solution outside them. So, Traigunya, you are subject to nature, okay? And you are not satisfied with what your nature is telling you to do. Seeks for some higher solution outside of it or else above it. Okay? So this is interesting. Outside of it or above it. But you don't want to be subject to the three modes of nature. You have to seek elsewhere or outside. Two ways of doing it. It looks for an escape either into something which is outside and void of all qualities and therefore of all activity, or in something which is superior to the three qualities and master of them and therefore at once capable of action and unaffected, undominated by its own action, in the nirguna or the trigunatita. Now we can understand what you mean by outside. Okay, so in the physical, so above is very clear. Okay? The spiritual planes of consciousness, you go above. Okay, but what is this outside he is talking about? How can you go outside? So when you go to the self, you are going out of your body mind life. That's the outside. And what is the result of the outside? Nirguna. Nirguna is very clear. No features. Okay. So obviously it's a self. And there you have the shunyam. And the world is the opposite of shunyam. The world is full of features, forms, colors, shapes, sizes. This is the feature, the guna. Okay. Trigunya, in fact, there are three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. So there are two solutions that man seeks for. One is nirguna. You go into the self. You go outside the physical world. The problem doesn't exist for you anymore. Okay? Because your problem was when you are plunged in your body mind life and you are subject to body mind life. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions in the physical world. But now you are outside and the problems of the mind don't bother you anymore. The problems of the vital don't bother you anymore. Who is the you? Your consciousness. You are not the body mind life. You are really the consciousness. You are the soul. So you can go outside, that's the self, or you can go trigunatita. Okay, you can go above. So what is meant by above? Even the nirguna is above only, but it's the lowest level of the above. Okay? As you have already discussed several times, when you leave your body mind life and go to the self, the first higher mind level, there are two possibilities. Remember, one is you see the physical world as unreal and you are in the nirguna consciousness. You are in the immutable, featureless consciousness. That's the outside the world. Okay? So, but there is another slightly higher. If you go, you see you are in the cosmic consciousness. And when you are in the cosmic consciousness, you don't reject the physical world. That's the trigunatita. So, outside the world is your nirvana, Buddhistic solution. This Buddha says, Buddhism rather says, when you are identified with your body, mind, life, there is a problem. So give it up. If your house is full of all sorts of problems, okay, mosquito ridden and rat ridden, if you can't control that, you give up your house and go to another house. Very simple. And the other house is a house where there is no, or go out into the street. No house at all. Okay. Or you go into a beautiful house where there is none of these problems. And that beautiful house is the Trigunatita. You are above. And now features are there. In the physical world, upstairs, when you are there in the higher planes of consciousness, you see the many and you also see the one. The one is the nirguna, but you can also have the experience of the saguna. Saguna is the trigunatita. But gunas are there, you see the gunas, but you are above them, you are not affected by them anymore. You are in the consciousness where one is also real and also the many also are real. So that's it, trigunatita. So now the next words also you will see is constantly referring to these two. Either you are in the saguna or the nirguna. The concept of nirguna and saguna is clear, na? So when you are in the nirguna, you are outside the physical world. But when you are in the cosmic consciousness, you don't reject the physical world. You are trigunatita. You have gone beyond the body-mind life, but you're not rejecting body-mind life. Okay? So it aspires to an absolute peace. The man who is subject to the gunas, he is trying to find a solution to his problem. Okay? And he either goes outside the world or he goes to the Trigunatita, where everything is positive. In the Nirguna, everything is negative, everything is cancelled. The reality of the world is cancelled. Your problem is cancelled, everything is cancelled. So you are free. It aspires to an absolute peace. Now the absolute peace is the Nirguna. Okay? Only peace exists. Absolute peace and unconditioned existence. Now, what does it mean, unconditioned? If it is conditioned, there are features. If something has got features, it is conditioned. It is conditioned by weight, it is conditioned by size, color, form. But unconditioned existence is featurelessness. So very clearly he is saying that it is the self. The self is, the solution is sought outside the world. But there is also another possibility. He is putting an or, okay? Either the nirguna or a dominant calm and superior existence. Dominant calm and superior existence is obviously the saguna, okay? It's a dominant calm. Dominant is a calm, and you are superior to existence, but you are not rejecting the physical world. Okay, so there are two solutions to this problem. The Buddhistic solution is the nirguna. The Advaitic solution and Sri Aurobindo solution, Vedantic solution is saguna. Also, Sri Aurobindo goes one step more and he says, get both. Go to the third level and get both. Sri Aurobindo is never satisfied with simple solutions. Okay. The natural movement of the former attitude. Which is the former attitude? Going to the nirguna, going to the self, going to the nirvana. Okay. The unconditioned existence or absolute nihil, if you want. That's the former. So the natural movement of the former attitude is towards the renunciation of the world. Sannyasa. You give up the physical world. When you see the physical world as unreal, why the hell should you stick on to it? So you give it up. That's the ascetic path. Okay, you give it up because your problem is solved. But you have problem solved only. You have solved the problem only individually. The world continues to be in imperfection. Of the latter, towards superiority to the claims of the lower nature and its whirl of actions and reactions, and its principle is equality and the inner renunciation of passion and desire. Beautiful. So when you are in the saguna consciousness, what is the character? Look at the words very carefully, okay? It is superior to the claims of the lower nature. Which is the lower nature? The body-mind life is a lower nature. And what is the claim of the body? What is the claim of the vital? What is the claim of the mind? Those claims are, the body wants comfort, liberation. It doesn't want disease. It wants to be free of death. So it has to go to a level where the claims of the lower, you have become superior to them. Okay. And its whirl of actions and reactions. Again, note, Sri Aurobindo is not saying only actions, but is also saying reactions. Because the world is acting on you and you are reacting. Again, we come back to that principle where Sri Aurobindo keeps on repeating. See, behind all these words, there are whole realities and experiences which you have to see. Again, we have spoken of them also. The whirl of actions and reactions. You are acting and there is a reaction from the physical world, or the world is acting on you and you are having a reaction. That is, someone gives you a slap and you react. You give a slap to somebody and somebody reacts to you. So both ways it is there. The universe and the individual. There's constantly a connection between the two, and there's an interaction between the universe and the individual. That's why he's using the word actions and reactions. And there, in the latter, which is the saguna, okay, its principle is equality and the inner renunciation, not the outer renunciation of body, mind, life, but the inner renunciation. This is
Rangada?
Yeah, tell me.
Isn't this a trigunatita, not saguna? You said the saguna, but didn't you say it is a trigunatita, not saguna?
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. The saguna is trigunatita. Yes, you can say that.
Okay.
But the word trigunatita is used in a very loose sense, because when you are in the nihil also, you are above the gunas. So it depends on the context of what you are saying. Okay. Because the spiritual planes of consciousness, you remember there are four. There is the higher mind, there is the element mind, there is the intuitive mind and the overmind. These are the trigunatita. You are above the body, mind, life. But you can have a cosmic consciousness, or you can have the nirguna or the saguna. Okay. So saguna is you are not rejecting the physical world, because you are seeing the divine everywhere. Okay, he is saguna. You are seeing the divine with qualities. So you're not rejecting the physical world.
Okay.
But what have you rejected? The inner renunciation. You have cut off your connection with everything. You are not rejecting the physical world. You are only rejecting the reactions and actions and reactions. Inside you are free. Okay, we'll make this more clear. Suppose I am subject to greed, okay, and I like rasgullas very much, okay, very physical example we'll give, okay. So when I am eating rasgullas with greed, I am subject to pleasure and pain, okay. So there is a action and a reaction, because pain also can come. When I don't get the rasgullas, I am in pain, okay. So this is the, but if you cut the desire in you, whether you eat or don't eat makes no difference to you. Even the absence of rasgullas will make no difference to you, because you have cut off the desire in root. That's what it means by inner renunciation, okay, of passion and desire. When you do that, you are free, and what you do will make no difference to you. Apply that to Arjuna. Arjuna is in the body mind life, and he is saying, my God, if I kill people, I will be guilty. I am responsible for what I am doing. So what is Sri Krishna telling him? Go to a level where you are not responsible. Go to the level where you are outside your body mind life, and you will be free of this guilt. There will be no guilt and no pleasure. Nothing will affect you anymore. And there, what do you have to do? You will do what the divine is telling you to do. If the divine is telling you to remain quiet, you will remain quiet. Don't kill, then you won't kill. But if you have to do the divine intention and he says that it is necessary to kill, you will do it. So that's exactly what he's saying. So the two.
So,
Yeah.
Rangada, this
Yes.
becomes a robotic life, no, in some way.
It is not robotic. That's a, okay. What you're saying is very interesting, because this is also what the children always tell me. If you have neither pleasure nor pain, is it robotic? Because the robotic doesn't have peace, but you have peace. You have a sense of infinity. So it is not. But there is a period when you are giving up your desires, when not robotic, but there is a sort of disgust and a condition where everything you lose interest.
Yeah, disinterestedness. That's what comes
Disinterest.
in, no?
You do enter into a consciousness where everything seems to be a desert. It is true. If you read from those letters to sadhaks, many are complaining, life has no savor, life has no taste anymore. It's absolutely tasteless. But that's a passage you have to go through. So what you're saying, there is a certain fact. Okay. When you give up pleasure, actually, in the physical world, okay, there are, the drama of life is what gives you the enjoyment. There has to be good, there has to be bad. Why in all films and stories there has to be a hero and a villain?
Yeah.
Okay. If there is no villain, then there's no fun. Who will the hero conquer? Well, who will he conquer? So the vital is the one that enjoys drama. Good and bad. In fact, if good and bad is not there, the vital will feel absolutely hopeless. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you are giving up the vital, there's a sort of blank that comes. So what you're saying, that is true. But I wouldn't use the word robotic. You enter into a place where there is no interest in everything and everything becomes tasteless. But this passage is absolutely necessary. It does happen. It does not happen if you are in a cyclic consciousness. It does not happen. Because you have cut the desire, but there is the perception that the divine is there everywhere and you don't lose interest. Okay? So it is something, in fact, you would have noticed that everybody, many, even Christ, okay, even Buddha, they had to go through, in Christ's life it is very clear, he had to go through the desert, what they say, they use the word desert. So that is a place where the transition between the desire and the desirelessness. Okay. What Tarika is saying, an element of truth is there. Okay. You lose interest in life. But that's a necessary passage. Okay.
Yeah. If you think like that, yeah, it is just a phase. then it is fine that somewhere you will arrive. But otherwise, that portion is very difficult to pass.
Yes, it's a very difficult passage. There is absolutely no doubt. And at that time, you can also get disoriented. Okay, that
Yeah.
also. Yeah. That's why yoga is very dangerous. So everything in yoga is dangerous except the psychic emergence. That is the reason why he says, my yoga, get the psychic first, make your journey safe, okay, and then you climb up. Don't climb up before you get psychic. So then you may be safe, but you can also be very in great danger. Okay, so that's what it is.
Rangada.
Were Buddha and Jesus avatars?
Yeah.
Were
Yes.
they avatars?
Buddha.
Were
Yeah.
Buddha and Jesus, were they avatars?
Yasmin, I'm sorry, but there was a disturbance and I could not.
Rangada, she is telling, were Jesus and Buddha some
Yeah.
avatars or not?
Of course, they were avatars. Sridhar says that very clearly. They were avatars. But he does not say
Rangada.
that. Yes, tell me.
Sorry, you complete your sentence.
No.
I'm asking about something different.
Okay.
Actually, I want to ask about Nirguna and Trigunatit, because
Okay.
in the second sentence,
Ah,
what it seems to say that Nirguna is escape, while Trigunatit is something which is superior,
that's right.
and then from there the action is done.
Yes, exactly.
Something which is superior to the three qualities and master of them, and
Excellent.
therefore at once capable of action and unaffected, undominated by its own action.
Quite
This
right.
is the Trigunati.
That's right. Because if you are in the Nirguna and you reject the physical world, you are not acting. There is a tendency not to act.
Yes.
Okay.
But you said, Rangada, that
Huh?
Saguna and Trigunatita is same. So that one I didn't understand.
Oh, acha. Okay. No, but
Actually, here he is not mentioning Saguna. That's why I was wondering.
no, he's
In
not.
this paragraph,
He's not
in that?
mentioning Saguna. But what is the Saguna consciousness? You are seeing the divine in qualities. In other words, you are not rejecting the physical world. So there is a sort of equivalence between them. That's what I would think. Okay.
Okay.
When you are seeing that the divine is there in the physical world and you're not rejecting it, it's a Saguna. It can also come through bhakti. Okay. So Archanati, I think what I said is not wrong. Okay. The Trigunatita, you are not.
No, Rangada, I'm not telling no. I'm just wanting. I mean, I wanted to be clear that Triguna Atita, because is it beyond Nirguna? What I mean, I don't know whether I can. I have conveyed my question clearly.
No.
Like Nirguna is the stage of self,
Yes.
in which you are, you become one with self, and you're away from you get yourself free from the gunas.
Okay. Yeah.
But Trigunatita is Sanskrit meaning also, and what he has written, what I am understanding. That's why I'm asking you, Rangada, because whether I'm right or wrong,
See.
that this means going beyond the self. I mean, stage higher, because you will be
In this context.
unaffected by the gunas, but still you will do the action. That's what I understood. Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
Yes.
you're not wrong.
Yes.
In this context, I told you because when Sunki asked the question, I told you that the word Trigunatita is used in a particular sense. Its very strict meaning is beyond the three gunas. Okay, but when you are beyond the three gunas, two possibilities are there, na? As he says in the Life Divine. Either you see the physical world as unreal and reject it. That's he is using the word nirguna. Okay. But when you are not rejecting the physical world, okay, and you are embracing this, when you use the word embrace the physical world, you are not rejecting it. So that, in a sense, you could say is the saguna. So triguna here is used in that sense. So particularly when he is contrasting it with nirguna. Nirguna also can be triguna, but here in this context, Srimad is very clearly saying nirguna or the triguna. So what you are saying, Archanati, is not wrong, but you have to see the context. Okay.
So isn't it the or from the previous, from the first part of the sentence? It looks for an escape either into something which is outside and void of all qualities, and therefore of all activity, or in
Yeah.
something which is superior to the three qualities and master of them, and therefore at once capable of action and unaffected, undominated by its own action. In the
That's
nirguna or the triguna. I mean, that is how because I just read this paragraph, so I was like yesterday. So maybe I've confused because I've read it before. That's why I was asking.
no. So let's again sum up the whole thing. When you become Trigunatita, you are above your body, mind, life. This much is very clear? Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
Rangada.
Now,
Is it body, mind, life, or is it sattva, rajas, tamas we are talking about?
it is the
It's
same
right.
thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's the
It's
same thing, yeah. Because both are of the Prakriti.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Okay. So, but when you
Tamas
are
is
in the
Prakriti.
Trigunatita consciousness, there can be two actions. You know? One is you are rejecting the physical world, or you are not rejecting the physical world, you are in the cosmic consciousness, and you are not rejecting the physical world. Okay? So, at that time, you are embracing the physical world. When you are embracing the physical world, why do you want to embrace it? Because you see that it is a reality, that there is God there. So, that's a saguna. Yeah?
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
So,
Rangada.
so in this context, Srivada is using the word Trigunatita. He's saying either it can be the self, the nirvana consciousness, which is the nirguna, and you are also in the saguna consciousness, which is slightly above. If you want to say above, but it's a different aspect of the Trigunatita. That's what I understand. Because he's continuing with that. See, he says it aspires to an absolute peace. Absolute peace, nirguna,
Nirguna.
and unconditioned existence. He's using the word and. So peace and unconditioned
This is
existence.
the this
That's
is for
right.
the Nirguna.
That's right.
Ah,
And or he's saying to a dominant
yes.
calm. The calm is there, the peace is there, but superior existence. That means you go to the.
So this is the Trigunatit, isn't it?
That's right. In this context, that's right.
Yes.
I think that's what he's meaning. In fact, he is contrasting the two.
True. Yes, Rangada. That's what I felt. I mean,
He is
that's why I
contrasting.
was.
That's right. So, in the natural movement of the former is when you are rejecting the physical world.
Nirguna. Yeah.
That's right. You are renouncing the world. That's a sannyasa. Okay. You don't act at all. You don't want to act also. But of the latter, in the consciousness, when you are in the Trigunatita, in the Saguna consciousness, your dominant calm is there. So is using very interesting word. Just see carefully. Dominant calm and absolute peace. Okay. Absolute peace means no action at all. Okay. But when he's saying dominant calm, there is a calm, but it is dominant. In other words, you can act also. When you are
Act in
acting,
that.
you are not fully calm. Okay. But the dominant calm is there. See the words, very interesting words he is using. Only the experience will make it very, very clear. But it's very clear what is it. He is contrasting Saguna and Nirvana. You can have this solution. Both are solutions. But the one that Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna is go to the problem you are wanting to reject and you are wanting to get out. You want to the Nirguna. But you don't want, I don't want you to go to Nirguna, I want you to go to the Saguna. Remain at the higher level and continue to act in the physical world. So that's a Saguna. Okay.
So why to go beyond that? Because that is what is asked of us. No, then why to go beyond the saguna?
Okay. Because there's a difference when you are identified with your body, mind, life and subject to sattva, rajas, tamas, and when you are outside and using them as instruments. There's a difference, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference. You are using the body, mind, life as instruments. You are not identified with it. So you have to go beyond.
Yeah. Okay.
First one, you
That
are
is why the word Trigunatit, na Rangada, because we go beyond the gunas. Trigunatit, that is the meaning. Na? We
That's
go
right.
beyond the guna and still continue our work.
That's right. But now you are not identified with them, you are using them as instruments.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
But because in the Nirguna, You are not using the instruments. You are rejecting the instruments.
Yeah, but Saguna, you are accepting the instruments and
Yes.
you are working with the instruments.
You accept, use them, but you're not identified with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But then these are two gunas only. No, which is the third one? Like one is Saguna, one is Nirguna. Which is the third one which you have to go beyond?
Oh,
Three.
The
okay.
three gunas are the Satta, Rajas and Tamas.
No, her question
Yeah.
is, when do you have both? When do you have both?
No, she's asking which is the third guna, Rangada. She's asking the third guna. And
Oh,
she's telling Saguna and Nirguna. But the three
okay.
gunas are not Saguna and Raguna. It is the Tamas, Rajas and Sattva.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. Nirguna means no gunas at all. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And Triguna means you are beyond them. Saguna means all the qualities are there. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Qualities. Okay.
Mm.
But you are superior to body, mind, life.
Mm.
Okay. All right, let's finish the para. So he's contrasting in this para. In this para, he's contrasting the non-action and the action. But in both the cases, you are not identified with the body, mind, life. You are superior to them. You are Trigunatita, even in the Nirguna, but it's a slightly lower level. And when you are in the Saguna, you are in Trigunatita again, but now you are acting. And that's why you
Okay, understood.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So, in the second case, you are not rejecting the physical world, but you are continuing to act, but you have cut the connection inside yourself. That's why I gave you the idea of the Rasgulla. Okay. I think it helps, no? Because
Yeah.
when you are in that condition and you have cut the desire in you, whether you are acting or not acting makes no difference to you. Okay. That's the reason why Swayambhu was brought up from the age of 7 to 21. He was brought up in the West. Okay. In fact, even when he was in India, his father did not want him to come in contact with any Indian culture. So he put him in a Darjeeling school with nuns. Okay. So he was absolutely ignorant of Indian things. So when he was there, he got all the habits of the Western culture. He was drinking, he was smoking. Okay? But when he comes here, he is above them. And when he finds out that mother does not like smoking, he simply gave it up without any desire at all. So that's it. No reaction at all in him. Right? So that's the difference. But if someone has to give up, like we had a very interesting case in the ashram, okay? I can tell his name also because he is not there anymore. His name was Kalyanta and he used to smoke. There were about 2 or 3 people in the ashram who used to smoke even when mother was there, okay? Even in the agenda, you will see that Satyam also has a habit of smoking, okay? So, mother makes a slightly derogative comment in the agenda about that. But anyway, she did not interfere. There was also Chiman Bhai, who used to smoke. Okay? Chiman Bhai was a Gujarati photographer and he also used to smoke. But when someone asked Kolanda, Kolanda, why are you smoking? You are attached to smoking. His reply was, oh no, I'm not attached to smoking at all. I have given it up so many times. So many times means he is picking up the habit again and again. So that's a joke we had. So this was the thing. Mother never interfered in a strict manner. She would always allow each nature to develop on their own lines without pressure. Okay? She would help you, but she will never impose anything on you. Okay? That's the interesting part. But if you are accepting and you are surrendering to her, yes. If you say, Mother, I want you to completely take over me, then she is to be very strict with them. Okay? I'll tell you one case where it's very, very interesting because there was our manager. He was a chameleon. His name was Amritada. Tarika may have seen him. I don't know. You have seen Amritada and Nolnida?
Nolinida, yes, but Amritada, I don't.
Nah, because he passed away. He passed away in the 60s. Okay. So he was a short, fair Brahmin, and he was the manager of the ashram. Okay. And he was all the, and he had to go to mother every day for the finances and getting documents signed and all that. And mother was very strict with him. Okay? She would even scold him. In fact, sometimes he used to get very upset. Okay? And sometimes she used to use very harsh words with him. And when I came to know this, I was a little surprised. I knew that mother can use harsh words because she has very often used them. Imbecile and all that. She used to be quite caustic sometimes. But I was surprised why she is doing this. Why is she being so almost unkind? Then, one day when I used to work in the archives, we were examining Amritala's diary. Okay? And then you know what he had written in the diary? He says, I want mother to be very strict with me. I want her to correct all my defects. And I don't mind if there is even cruelty. Now look at that. Mother is doing to him what he wants. You follow? So she would never impose herself on anybody. She would allow Kolanda and Satprem and Shivan Bhai to smoke. Let them smoke and get rid of their thing themselves. But to someone who says, Mother, do this to me, okay, and this is a prayer of his soul, and Mother was very strict with him. So you get my point, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you surrender to her, she will do everything for you, and what you are thinking to be a cruelty is actually a grace. It's a very interesting point. When I read that, I said, my God, look at that. Now I understand. Okay. The divine's action with everybody, totally different. Sometimes she can appear to be very gentle and very sweet, even to those who don't apparently deserve it. And she is to be very, very strict and almost cruel to those whom to others who also did not seem to deserve it. But in either case, she is doing exactly what the inner being requires, not the outer. Very interesting. Okay, so now we come back to we have got just a little time to finish the para, and we'll read the next one also, but let's do this. So I'm reading the next one. The former is the first impulse of Arjuna. Arjuna is so disgusted with the standards of his own Kshatriyahood. He says, Kshatriyahood was fine before this, but now I see that my Kshatriyahood, my standard of action is making life impossible for me. I reject it. So what do? You go outside. You get rid of all your things. I want a solution outside body, mind, life. I can't get this. But Sri Krishna is telling him, do the opposite. The former is the first impulse of Arjuna, recoiling from the calamitous culmination of all his heroic activity in the great cataclysm of battle and massacre, Kurukshetra. Losing his whole past principle of action, Kshatriyahood. Okay? But now he has lost it. That principle of action is gone. Kshatriyahood is no more applicable to me. It is not possible for me to follow Kshatriyahood. How can I kill? Okay. Inaction. So, losing his whole past principle of action, inaction, and the rejection of life and its claims seem to be the only solution. Inaction seems to be the only solution. The rejection of life seems to be the only solution. And all the claims of life seem to be the only solution. But it is an inner superiority and not the physical renunciation of life and action that he is called by the voice of the divine teacher. The divine teacher says, not absolute peace, but the superior Trigunatita. Not the lower Trigunatita, but the superior Trigunatita. Engage in action, but don't be subject to them. Don't reject the physical world. Accept it, but don't be subject to it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. The Gita is very deep. Yeah? But once the ideas are clear, then there's no problem. That is the reason why Sri Aurobindo does not reject the physical world. He has got you must continue to be in the physical world. The Gita is very clear, no rejection of physical world. Be in the water, be like the lotus leaf. Don't get wet. Don't get affected by the imperfections of body, life and mind. Don't be subject to the gunas. That's the solution. Okay?
Here, here it is here where Arjuna says, no, Karpanya means I am like.
Arjuna, Krishna tells him.
No,
Karpanya dosho.
Karpanya dosho. No, he is asking, no, dharma sammudha cheta. Prichhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta.
Yes, that's right.
Because I am like, I have become crippled. I
Yeah.
cannot understand
Yeah.
what to do. That is the stage where he comes, that now I am completely
Surrender to. I will do what you want me to do. Tell me what to do.
crippled. He feels crippled, that he doesn't know what is the real dharma, no?
Yeah, that's true. But listen, Karpanya dosha, Kripana is not the English cripple.
Then?
Although Kripana is weak and mean and small. Kripana. In Bengali, the word kepon, no? That means very miser. That is not the.
Yeah,
Not
okay. Okay.
Don't get confused between the two.
Yeah, I was confused between that. That is why I asked, is it this one or no? Okay.
In a sense, it is crippled, okay? Your good qualities are crippled. Then you become kripana.
No, because he says, no, dharma sammudha cheta, because I am now, I don't know which is my dharma. Kshatriya dharma is for me, or which dharma I have to follow. That's why he feels, I had taken it that sense. Okay.
That's right. No, that is correct. That what you're saying is not wrong. His dharma until now was kshatriyahood. But that dharma himself is now, he is deceiving him. He is unable to kill. He has come to a situation where he says that my old dharma is not valid anymore. Okay? And this is what happened. Yes, tell
So
me.
how does miserly come there then? How do you bring the miserly?
No, it is miserliness is one of the meanings. The meaning is smallness, meanness, ununderstanding. Okay? Meanness, smallness of mind, smallness of understanding. In that sense.
Okay.
Can also mean. Okay.
Okay, because I always understood as crippled. That's why. So, okay.
You check the word in Sanskrit, you will see that kripana means small, mean.
Okay.
Insignificant in that sense. Okay, it's now 8:35. Stop here. We'll stop.
Yeah.
Okay, au revoir everybody.
Au revoir, Rangada.
Merci
Thank you,
beaucoup.
Rangada.
Au revoir everybody.